The Celtics Talk Podcast is presented by 24autogroup.com, 11 locations across New England.
What's up, everybody? A special off-day edition of the Celtics Talk Podcast coming to you because a rare off night where the Celtics picked up some hardware. Payton Pritchard is your sixth man of the year. If you're watching on the video version, you'll see Payton on the shirt here. I can't say this was a surprise. Actually, one of my preseason picks, I'll take a little, small, tiny victory lap, was that Payton would emerge as sixth man of the year. I did think in a bigger role this season he would thrive, and it was clear from early in the year with his impact off the Celtics bench, with all the opportunity because of the way the Celtics paced along some of their veteran players, that Pritchard had a good chance to get there. But he certainly had to earn it. Stiff-arm Malik Beasley at the finish line of the season, but sets an NBA record, 246 three-pointers off the Boston bench. I think he finished with 255 overall, second most in Celtics single-season history, behind only teammate Derek White, and those two, of course, partnered up in the 40-40 game, the first one in Celtics history. As you know, we spent a lot of time this season just kind of looking back at the crazy road that Payton has navigated. If you want to go search on our YouTube page, you can find a little mini documentary we put together. We're going to bring you some of that interview with Payton that we sat down a couple weeks before the start of the postseason, where he talks about both the journey, what it would mean to win sixth man of the year. And he's had great perspective all year. I think he just appreciates, he admits every bench player wants an honor like this. You want to be the best, most impactful bench player for your team. And yet there's bigger goals here. And Payton is all about winning. It's been the trademark of his entire career. And I do think that chasing a second championship has always been the most important part, but his part in it cannot be diminished. I did laugh because on Sunday when the Celtics were playing Game 1 against the Magic, their first batch of subs, I think, were Al Horford, Luke Cornett, and Sam Hauser. So technically, Pritchard was their ninth man in that game, at least the ninth player to touch the floor. And yet they were matching the Cole Anthony minutes. And I think we know, based on the output that Payton had in that game, he was a pretty impactful bench player that night and truly throughout the season. We'll fixate on the three-pointers. I was actually writing today and wanted to do something on Payton. And one of the things on my little checklist for the season has been, man, Payton's been really good around the basket. And it's so weird that the guy who's the smallest guy on the roster, 6'1", I guess J.D. Davison technically is 6'1" as well now, added late in the season, but everyone else is 6'4" or taller. And you got Payton, who still manages to muscle his way to the basket. He's super crafty at throwing that little elbow to create some space and finish around the hoop. He shot 75.4% at the rim this season. That's a season high, a career high for Payton. The last two seasons, he's right around that same number. And I went through it, and there's only one guard under 6'4" that had a higher efficiency, and it's Gary Payton II out at Golden State. But Payton, over 100 attempts at the rim this year, and to shoot that percentage is kind of crazy. He's so crafty. You saw it a couple times in that Game 1 against Orlando too. One, he blew past Wendell Carter Jr., but he knew, could sense him on his back, knew Paolo was there with help, and still finished a nice little layup on the left side of the basket. Earlier in the game, he got a little spin move to the free throw line, tried to shed Cole Anthony with that little forearm, and when Cole Anthony goes up, Payton stays on 2 feet, does a little step through, gets to the basket for a left-handed layup. His basketball IQ, I think we all know, is off the charts. We all obsess about the three-pointers, and the buzzer beaters are fun, and when he pulls up from 28 or 30 feet, it shows how much of a weapon that is. But I just love how diversified his offense has been this year. His ability to if teams are going to close out hard, he can attack you. If you put a one-on-one, he can take that defender to the post and just use that little forearm. You'll hear him talk about those rib shots in our sit-down interview. The other thing is, the 6'1" guy was second on the team in offensive rebounds. I think he finished with 104. Only Luke at 190 had more. You would not think in a vacuum that Payton Pritchard would be your second leading offensive rebound guy, especially with all the minutes that guys like Tatum and White play, and they certainly got their rebound totals up overall. But you look at it, and those guys are in the 70s and 60s, and there's Payton up over 100. It speaks to, again, the basketball IQ, his ability to know where the ball is going to come off the basket, his hustle to keep possessions alive. Joe Mazzulla has talked multiple times about the impact Payton has in not only providing energy off the bench, but saving possessions and helping the Celtics win the margins. He does so much when he's out there. And so, look, Beasley had a great season. Beasley's three-point numbers, I think he ended up with more games of 5+ three-pointers, but it doesn't take away from what Pritchard did. Pritchard actually got ahead of that Wayne Ellington record earlier in the season, set the NBA record. He is the fourth Celtic player, I want to look at my notes now, fourth Celtic player in team history to hit the 1,000 points off the bench plateau. The only other guys to do it, Kevin McHale did it 3 times, Ricky Davis and Malcolm Brogdon. Pritchard had 23 games with 20-plus bench points, the 22 games with 5+ three-pointers. And again, second leading single season 3-point total behind only Derek White. And it's been an amazing year for Pritchard. I go back to it. You think a couple years ago and being frustrated with his role. And again, it wasn't anything he was doing. He in a way, Danny Ainge drafts him. He comes in. There's an opportunity right away. He probably plays more than you might expect a rookie. But after 4 years at college, he had that. He was just sort of NBA ready. And then his role gets super reduced because the Celtics add Brogdon. And, all of a sudden he's not playing as much as the Celtics are seeking that title after falling short in 22. But then the roster clears out in the summer of 23 with Marcus Smart and Brogdon both out. Now, even with the addition of Drew Holiday, there were minutes available, and Payton was a big piece of what the Celtics did a year ago, one of the top net rating guys in the entire NBA during the 23-24 season. And this year, the net rating isn't as glitzy, and maybe I'm only saying that because Luke Cornett's numbers were so good this year. But still super, super impactful in the way that he helped the Celtics to another 60-plus win season, and what they hope is the start of another march to a second world title. Consecutive titles would put them in a different echelon of champions. But Pritchard, and just to spin it forward too, a lot of people always ask me when Payton's having these big nights, what? First off, they marvel that what might have happened if Brad Stevens had traded him and the luxury of having held on to him and rewarded him with that extension, and now that looks like one of the best value contracts in the NBA. I do think there's a pathway in the future where if the Celtics do have to make some hard decisions about the future of this roster, that opens up a potential for more playing time for Pritchard. And as much as they strive this year to keep him in that sixth-man role, I could certainly see him being a starter in the future. I think he would be able to handle that. And, we're always the question is always, can he hold up defensively? But he's just so tenacious and so willing to take on that challenge. And the Celtics have so many other quality defenders that they've been able to mask that when teams have tried to take advantage of his height. And so Payton has been really good. It's really cool to see him honored. It extends a tradition, a history of the Sixth-Man Award. It's the John Havlicek Trophy because of the way Red Auerbach was, well documented about. Always felt like you should have a starter caliber level player coming off the bench to keep up the high level of play even when starters came out of the game. It sort of set a trend for the NBA. You look at all the Celtics championship teams, and they tend to have an elite player in that role. Bill Walton winning the award. Malcolm Brogdon got it a couple years ago for the Celtics when they were trying to come off that 22 season, falling short against the Warriors in the finals. McHale and Bird played a bench role in one of those 80 seasons coming off an injury and thrived there. It's been really neat to see the way that guys, especially when they come to Boston, have embraced sort of shifting to that role and understanding that it's all about winning. And maybe no more than Payton has embraced that as well, knowing that you could always play more, you could do more, but if you're a superstar in that role, good things will happen. So let's dive into a little bit more Payton Pritchard. Like I said, I got a chance to sit down with him in advance of the playoffs, talk about that path and the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, and what it would mean to win that Sixth Man of the Year award. And now that he's got it, here's more from Payton.
Are you ready to enter the realm of affordable luxury? Drew Carter here at 24 Infinity of Plymouth, your go-to destination for affordable luxury.
Right now, lease a new Infinity QX60 Lux for just $569 a month. Or lease a new QX80 Sensory for $1099 a month.
Ready to trade and upgrade? You'll get top dollar for your trade. Visit 24 Infinity of Plymouth at 151 Samoset Street and online at 24infinityofplymouth.com.
So one of the things we're doing is just kind of looking back at your journey and, obviously ups and downs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Let's do it this way. Was there a low moment? Like, did you? You could have never known where maybe it would have got to.
Yep.
Like, what was the lowest of like, man, this isn't working for me?
There was a lot of low moments. Maybe not even just low moments through my whole basketball journey, through every step. I think there's low moments through high school, college, especially the pros. There's a lot of moments where you question whether you're going to make it, if I was even going to make it to this level, if I was going to be able to continue to play in the NBA. My third year, after my second year, I was part of the rotation, being in the finals. And still a young player, trying to develop, trying to get better, and then third year to not playing at all and going felt like 20 games in a row with not touching the floor, having many guys out, not playing still. So that could be definitely a mental test, and a lot of people can kind of crumble in that situation. And I was fortunate to have good vets around. I became close with Blake, and he really helped me during that time because it just allowed me to have somebody that was a Hall of Famer in my ear telling me that, how much potential I really had. I had a coach named Aaron Miles that helped me through that year a lot too. But through the low moments, I think it's what made me better. It made me hungrier, worked on things that I needed to get better at, and hopefully this is just the start of it all. That I hope I can continue this growth, and I know I'll continue to put in the work to keep getting better. So I don't know what the future holds or what my ceiling is.
I can't imagine it's easy to go to someone like Brad and be like, I need an opportunity to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how hard did you wrestle with that decision to approach him? Like, what goes through your mind in that build up to that moment?
At the time it wasn't really that hard because I just didn't see a future. And it wasn't, like I've always said this, it was nothing to do with the city or the organization. I think the organization is top notch. I think Boston is the best sports city in the world, best fans, and the games are always sold out. So it's as a player, you want to play in a situation like that. But in that day, I'd rather be playing, and I wasn't playing. I was watching a lot of games. Now we were really good, and I was going to be a good teammate regardless of the situation. But I'm a competitor, and I thought I belonged on the court to play and play with the best. And so I went to Brad and, just asked for, if there was an opportunity out there that, they could get value back. And it didn't end up working, and, ended up working out.
Could you have imagined in that moment maybe how quickly it would have flipped? And do you ever think, man, I'm kind of glad Brad didn't overreact or maybe trade you for less value or whatever the case may be?
It all worked out how it should. So obviously Brad made the decision to keep me here, and obviously he had belief in me that I could turn out to be something, and I'm very happy to be here. This is home. The East Coast is home to me now, so Boston, being from Oregon, so I enjoy it here.
What was that whole experience like? How quickly did you start to see a turn in the corner? Did you know that next off season, some changes? I think that was when Brogdon went out. What was the steps that sort of you said, okay, now I see a pathway where I'm going to get my chance?
Well, once we started talking about the extension, in the summertime that was going to come, waiting to see how that was going to work out, and then to see the guards leave, Smart and Malcolm, good players. We lost Rob, but we gained Drew and KP in them, so got a lot of talent back. But I saw that there was a position that I was going to be given at least 15 minutes a night. So I just took that opportunity and said, okay, I'll take 15 and try to build on that and just keep getting better and better and earn more and more. So I feel like that's, I went through my slump still at first. I remember my started fourth year, I went first 5 games probably I don't even know if I hit a shot, So people forget about those moments, but I don't. And I remember saying it at the time, I feel like it's those type of moments is what's going to make me better in the end. So, but yeah.
What did it mean to get that extension? I mean, we always hear players say that it does. I mean, it's easy to say like it doesn't. I'm ignoring it. It doesn't matter. But like to have that security and to then just be able to focus on the job. How much did that change?
For sure. I feel like like the money aside, I feel like what helped me the most is like I knew I had 4 more years to prove myself and keep growing in the best league in the world. So that was the biggest thing for me, is just to have the opportunity to play and keep showing what I'm capable of.
I know you said like it's not your primary goal. You're completely team-oriented, championships, all that. But when you think of it, especially with the lineage of the Sixth Man of the Year award, what would that mean? Like to be in that group of McHale and Havlicek and all that?
I mean, it'd be an honor for sure. I mean, it's something that, you know, every player does want. If they come off the bench, you do want the award. Now, I'm not hanging my head on it whether I get it or not. I put myself in the best position to get it, but at the end of the day, it means I helped my team off the bench at the best of the ability, and I did my job. So, but definitely it'd be an honor, and to put my name into history with those guys, it's, you know, I definitely.
Has it sunk in that you were an NBA record holder, and the idea that no other bench player has done what you've been able to do?
It hasn't really. The coaches actually just put the ball in my locker, so I have that. So I'll give that to my wife. Maybe she'll like frame it or something. I don't know, but hopefully I can build on that.
What other mementos have you saved from your journey so far? You got a little room, a little shelf. Like, what do we got?
I haven't done much, but I've gotten certain people's jerseys. I've done that stuff. From me personally, well, my parents really have a lot of it. Like, my dad got the jersey from the Blazers game when me and D. White had both 40. So I feel like that was a monumental moment for Boston history too. And then the championship jersey. So.
Have you noticed are teams defending you any differently now? Is there a point that it flipped where you know maybe you go from like being just the guy off the bench to being someone that teams are actually game?
Yeah, I think it changes game to game, but I definitely notice that there's certain times I draw their like the certain defenders, their better matchups, and they sometimes don't leave my body or just trying to not let me get like easy looks, but which I want at the end of the day because it's a respect thing, and when you are a good player, they're going to put the better defenders on you.
I think you're 98th percentile for point guards around the basket. You're shooting something like 74% at the rim. How did you get so good at those shots?
I think it's just the understanding of like when it's a one-on-one coverage where it's a two-on-one, so if there's 2 on the ball at the rim, then I got to kick it out. But if I've gotten good at the point where like if it's just one-on-one and me and another defender down there, then I figured out angles and how to use my body to get enough separation to get it up quickly. So it's just from a lot of practice and work, footwork and stuff down there. So what
is the key to that? I mean, you put that elbow in and just get some room.
It's like a rib shot. Can't really like, you're not going to necessarily take a charge down there. So give a little bump and all you need is a little separation.
I remember you playing one-on-one with Jalen back in the day. Like, how much does that, like, I mean, do those moments?
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. I'm going against one of the best defenders in the world, best players in the world. So those is the, you know, iron sharpens iron. So going against him, losing over and over again, just bettering myself, just helped me be better.
There's like a million different Pritch expressions now. Pritch, please. Pritch better have my money. Do you have a favorite one yet? Or like we keep asking about the nickname. I feel like we've gone down that road. But any of the ones that we've invented for your?
My teammates, I think they like the Pritch, please. They say that a lot. So I feel like it's cool. It's catchy. I see it all over, even on away stadiums now. So it's definitely cool. So yeah, I like that one.
What is it like to see? I mean, it's on the hoodie now, like to walk into TD Garden and see.
I'm just very appreciative to have this support of the people and for people. I feel like I give a lot of communities like the sense of like hope and that like with hard work anything is possible. So that's what I at least want to give off. So and I appreciate that.
Give me your best Luke story. Like, can you remember the first time you met him?
Well, I mean, he's definitely like. He wasn't as funny as he is now. Like it took him a little bit.
It's been a rise here.
Yeah,
oh, really?
For sure. I feel like his first year he was just a nice person, not a comedian yet. Now he's like totally shifted to. He's still a great person, but he's, you know, it's like he's a comedian. He's funny.
How much does that bring? Because I got to assume there are moments, whether it's in a game, in a locker room, that can be stressful. To have someone like Luke to break that.
For sure. I feel like we have a good locker room in general for that, but. You definitely need people like that. He has great perspective on life and knowing when to like take things serious, but also when it's like it's okay to like let our guard down and joke about this. It's like it's not as serious as it may seem.
Jalen was telling a story about how Luke was mad that he didn't do more to be an enforcer when Giannis was roughing up JB in one of the early games against Milwaukee. Can you picture Luke throwing hands, being an aggressor, being a I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not agitator, but like a defensive guy.
That'd be tough because I feel like he just now he's gonna play really hard and all that and do things the right way. But to be an enforcer, you kind of have to be a little dirty, and I just don't see that in Luke. He's too good of a person.
What about you?
I
can see you being an enforcer.
I just ain't big enough to be one. But
sometimes the little guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll definitely talk back and get feisty, but.
What's the meanest thing someone said to you on a court? NBA level. Anyone ever just dismiss you completely, make you mad? I've seen you barking at benches.
Yeah. I don't know anything that's been like too disrespectful. Definitely through my lifetime, but probably stuff I can't say on here, but.
We can edit it. Last thing, if you had to cast a movie about the Celtics, who would you pick to play you? Might need you run this one by your wife.
See who she thinks.
Yeah,
she
like
likes.
just to see if anyone jumps out. Like if someone
Who she thinks is
someone from the Outer
attractive?
Banks, I don't watch enough TV to know, but like
that'd be a tough one. Then I'd find out who she's attracted to. You don't have a problem there. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know.
Good.
Find somebody.
No surprise, a lot of Payton Pritchard chatter the last couple of days, not only because of a great Game 1, but because of the expectation that he might win that Sixth Man of the Year award on Tuesday night. So here's some sound from today's practice with players being asked about Pritchard's impact this season.
Al, the league's announcing Sixth Man of the Year tonight, and I know the team has been backing Payton for that all season. Yep. How would you describe?
That's great. No. Hey, we got it. Hey, I'm just. I can speak beforehand about this, but I'm just so proud of Payton and the job that he's done. His consistency with his work ethic and how hard he works, how he's taking care of his body, how he took the challenge on this year and trying to take his game to another level, not only on the offensive end, but defensively. It's remarkable to see. And then just being put in different positions and trying to figure it out. That there were certain games, a few games this year that he could have gone and scored a lot more or chased records and done things like that. And you can see this tape because you can see the film. He's making the right play after right play in different moments. Instead of going for him, he's making an extra pass because it's the right thing to do. He's, passing up a 3 and getting a 2 when he has a chance to break a 3-point record. So he plays the right way, and I'm just so impressed how he's been able to handle everything and how he gets himself ready to compete at that level. So I don't think it's any secret. I don't want to jump the gun, but I'm just very, very happy for Payton.
With the Sixth Man of the Year getting announced tonight, whether it's as a leader or a part of your game on the court, is there a particular aspect of your growth this year that you're the most proud of?
My consistency. Game in, game out, limiting just overall bad games. I'm proud of that. Just my efficiency shooting wise, I think has been really good this year. And I don't know, just every summer, just finding different ways to keep getting better and better and elevate my game, and especially in the playoffs. And then hopefully next year comes and I elevate it again.
On Sunday, you checked in later than you normally do in the first quarter and immediately hit a 3, and then I think you scored 11 points in the first 3 minutes. So just thinking about your career, how different of an adjustment has it been to have to stay warm on the sidelines and then come in and know you have to make an impact? And how much do you feel like you've been able to improve in that regard versus starting as you had in college and stuff?
Well, I feel like that's probably another area of growth I've had too is, mentally, this whole year you've been coming off the bench around the 6-minute mark, and then you don't go into the end of the first. And you don't go into the game knowing when you're going to go in or anything, but as a player, a young player, you might mentally get frustrated. You might be like, I'm not playing as much tonight. But instead now maturing a little bit, you just go, once you get your opportunity, you just take full advantage of it and don't look back. So it's just, obviously you're going to be a little cold. You do your jumps, run around, try to stay warm, but it's just be mentally prepared for your moment and never look back.
So in this case, like, you didn't know you were going to check in later, but
No.
you felt like mentally you had grown to not be anxious about it sitting there.
It just now it's just in this state of mind that it just doesn't matter when you put me in. Like, if I'm gonna have to sit the whole quarter and you think that's what's best for the team, and I start the second, then I'm gonna come out in the second quarter and give you everything I got. So that's just staying in that mindset and not allowing myself to get frustrated over anything. It's just being ready for your moment.
All right, we'll see what Payton has in store for the rest of this series. It's funny, I thought because the Magic are such a big, long team that this maybe wouldn't be a Pritchard series, and yet I love that they were trying to kind of match the Cole Anthony minutes at the start of Game 1. Those guys have, both bring a similar sort of zest off the bench, but Pritchard has been a more consistent player, as the award tonight shows. I do think that throughout this playoff run, you're going to need Payton to have those moments where he's giving a little scoring punch, where he's playing steady minutes, where he's giving you a bench boost in order to get to the finish line of a second title. If you want even more Payton Pritchard content, again, I hope you go back. Our OC team did a great job. We talked to everybody during our media day sit-downs about Payton and the journey. Brad Stevens, Joe Mazzulla, Al Horford, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, they were all great on what it has meant to see Payton Pritchard blossom into the NBA Sixth Man of the Year. That's available on our YouTube page. I'll see if I can link it in the description of this show. But just a really cool story and a good reminder of perseverance and the benefit that can come from sticking it out in the hard times. And it's great to see that Payton is now essentially the best bench player in the NBA based on the award received tonight. All right, Game 2 is Wednesday night. We'll be right back at it on the post-game pod. Go like, go subscribe, go check us out on the YouTube page. We'll catch you next time on the Celtics Talk Podcast.